Find down what has been a tremendous weekend here in Grapevine, Texas. We have one final big match for you here on table number one. It's the 2014 Tornado World Open Singles Final. It's Ryan Moore on the right. It is Tony Spredeman on the left. One match. That's 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3s between two of the truly great players in the history of the sport. Here we go. First game underway. Tony Spredeman will have the first scoring opportunity as he sets up the snake shot. Spredeman, shot attempt, bounces up into the air and off the table after the block by Moore, who will put it back into play in his goal area.
Ready? Yeah.
Here we go.
Ryan Moore, who has just been shooting the ball spectacularly well from the goalie position. That is not a surprise. Ryan, one of the greatest two rods perhaps the sport has ever seen. Tony, of course, is going to pass the ball most of the time, and his passing percentage this weekend, the 2 to the 5, has been outstanding as well. Now one stolen away by Moore. No score, just getting this open singles final underway. Of course, Tony Spredeman, the defending champion here, a 3-time world singles champion on the Tornado table. Ryan has won a major title, a open singles world championship as well, back in 2010. Ryan rocking and stroking it down the middle.
Yeah.
1-0 lead early on here in this first game of the first set for Ryan Moore. The bounce pass through the lane. Spredeman can't connect. Picked up here by Moore, who sends it up the table. One thing we have seen throughout the weekend with this particular format is that these players, these high-end players, understand that they could go as many as 9 games. And, of course, in that 9th game, they could go to infinity, theoretically, because it is unlimited, win by 2. But they have paced themselves. They have done certain things early on, knowing that they have a long match to play. And Spredeman shot attempt up into the air and off the table again.
Ready? Ready.
Ryan, who in one match against Robert Atha in this open singles competition scored something like 12. Well, we still haven't gone back to have a look and see what the exact number was, but it was an extraordinary performance from the 2-rod. And even in the semifinal round against Pappas, Ryan scored 6 or 7, possibly 8 from his 2-rod during the course of that match. As he hammers this one home to the far side, it's now 2-0 here in game number 1 in favor of Ryan Moore. Of course, these two have been facing off now for many years, as they have really been the two most successful players on the American tour for half a decade. What a great weekend of table soccer here in Grapevine, Texas. The open doubles competition, just an extraordinary display by Johnny Horton in that event, and of course, eventual champions Ryan Moore and Bob Diaz, as Ryan is trying to double here this weekend. Tony did it last year. Ryan trying to duplicate Tony's feat of last year.
All right, table number 15 was Steve Zioki, 11 Florida, Steve Garcia and Scott O'Hare. 15. Table number 16 is New Trend, Olivia Lopez.
Spredeman again. Will set it up and stroke it home. It's 2-1.
Table number 17.
Ready? Yes.
2-1 lead here in the first game in favor of Ryan Moore. Ryan along the near wall. Ryan will look to regain that 2-goal lead as he sets up the snake shot. Fakes, waits, and strokes it home to that near corner. Boy, he's so clever with those fakes and those flips and the ability to aggressively walk the ball across the mouth of the goal. Of course, you could say the same thing about this guy. His quick shot at him rimmed off that near post, hustled after it, eventually grabbed again by Spredeman. Tony. Fakes. He'll try to go back to that far side. The ball spins back to Moore. Ryan slowing the tempo down here and finds that short corner. Just waited and waited and waited, and Tony gave it to him, and he was able to find that near side of the goal. And Ryan comes out to get 4 of the first 5 here in this opening game, looking sharp. Back to that near corner goes Ryan Moore off the roll, wide of the goal. Rebound comes to Ryan on the 5. Great first game performance here by Ryan Moore, and he puts it away. It's 1-0.
Ready? Yeah.
Tony Spredeman comes out here in game number 2. No score, second game. Ryan with a shot down the middle on goal. Rebound comes back to him. Boy, that has been a major weapon for Ryan here this weekend, is the shooting from goal. And if you're scoring, in this case, 7, 8, 9, 12 goals from your 2-rod during the course of a match, you are going to be a very successful singles player. Great grab on the 3 by Ryan. Moore. Try to come back to that near side. Blocked and taken away by Spredeman. Tony trying to work it up the table. Can't connect on the pass. Boy, he has been lights out passing the ball this weekend from the 2 to the 5. And talking to him earlier, he told me that is the one area that he has really been working on and practicing, is making sure the execution on that 2 to the 5 passing series is as tight as he can get it. And it certainly has been. Ryan Moore leading 1-0 here in this first set, and he has controlled play throughout as we have opened things up. Spredeman sitting dead still, reacting. Moore slams it home near side. Tony crisply through the lane. Try to go back to that far side, blocked by Moore, who has done an excellent job defensively so far. Let's see what kind of adjustments Tony makes. That one squirts back. Tony grabs it on the 5, quickly advances it near side through the lane, resets, takes a look, and strokes it home to that far side. That is a tough shot to block when the shooter brings it out there with a fake and then continues a little bit farther on with the shot. It's going to work most of the time. Tony able to make the block here and the retrieval on the 5. 1-1 here in the second game of the first set. Ryan won the first game rather quickly. Spredeman now can take the lead here in game number 2. Tony tried to come back to that far side. This one blocked up into the air and off the table. It remains 1-1, and Ryan Moore will put it back into play.
Yeah.
Our final big match of the weekend. The Open Singles Final between 2 former world titleists, including the defending champ. Ryan Moore has really come to play here this weekend. What a great performance so far. Of course, in doubles, he and partner Bobby Diaz were victorious. He has been very impressive in singles as well. Spredeman can't connect on the 2 to the 5. And this is something Tony has been doing at an extraordinarily high rate so far this week. And that one sent towards the goal. Ryan able to keep it out. Now steps back there offensively. Ryan taking a look at the short corner as he always does. Of course, fully capable of bringing it across down the middle and in. It's 2-1.
Ready?
I asked Ryan a little earlier on, why are you shooting so great from the 2-row this week? And he said, well, I have fun doing it. And that was evident in the match, specifically in the quarterfinals against Robert Atha, when he actually passed it back from his 5-rod to his 2-rod 3 times and scored 2 of them. Nice pass here by Spredeman. He'll step into the forward position after faking. And then quickly through the lane. Tony finds that near side. It's 2-2.
Yep.
2-2 here in game number 2. Ryan Moore leading 1-0. Ryan with that tic-tac faking. And then tried to go that high lane off the man and in. Tony attempted to get the left hand back there in time, but could not keep it out. It's now 3-2. Back comes Spredeman coming back. Appeared as though he might attempt that pull kick, that play that he likes to use. Instead, he pushed it back and scored it. It's 3-3. And he's starting to heat up a little bit here on table number 1. Spredeman will defend against the 3-rod of Ryan Moore. Ryan, always aggressive, tries to come down the middle, blocked and taken away by Tony, who will call timeout. Ball put back into play by Tony Spredeman. Tied up at 3 here in game number 2 of the first set. Referees for the match, Dennis Ori and Arthur Mitchell. Spredeman able to get this one through. Tony bounces and then goes back along that outside wall. For the lead, Tony Spredeman. Walks it and then tried to go back to the far corner. Looked like the hole was there. The shot was not. He rimmed it off the corner, then again down the middle. Ryan Moore continuing the red-hot 2-rod shooting. Takes the lead, and he's got a set point. I believe that's 3. Ryan able to make the block here. It comes back to Tony, who uses the left hand to advance it. And then through the lane, has a look at the pull kick. Ryan was out there, and Tony will set it up, looking to tie it up here in game number 2. And he does. Again, walking it out, then taking it just a little bit farther. It's 4-4. For his set point, and Ryan Moore now with a chance to win this opening set. Moore fakes, flips, resets, and calls timeout. Ryan Moore will put it back into play, looking to win set number 1. Spredeman defending. Ryan Moore. Try to come near side off a man and in, so Ryan Moore comes out to get the first set. He leads 1-0.
Ready? Yeah.
Second set underway. It's Spredeman on the left. It's Moore on the right. Ryan Moore won the first set in 2 games as we open up play here in this second set. Tony Spredeman with possession on his 2-rod.
Master limited in this for and William Adams versus Martin Alley and
Tony looking to strike first, and he does as he walks it and then drills it. It's 1-0. Obviously, Spredeman must win this second set in order to stay alive, and Tony so far has scored the only point of set number 2. Impressive opening set performance from Ryan Moore. Tony beginning to work it up the table. Ryan Moore, and this is one area that Spredeman is going to have to make an adjustment because Ryan has just been awesome. And Ryan able to convert here. It's 1-1.
Ready? Yeah.
1-1. first game, second set. Moore won the first set. Tony now will look for the lead from snake shot position. Tried to go back to that far side. Ryan is there to block it and take it away. Tony still staying in the forward position defensively against Ryan Moore's two-rod. And that can be dangerous. You sometimes have to get a left hand back there, and sometimes perhaps you have to get all the way back there, but that really isn't Tony's style. Tony sets the goalie man in a certain position and is confident that he can cover everything else with the 5 and the 3. However, Ryan has scored 3 so far in the match from goal. And Tony able to score here. It's 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1 lead. Ryan tic-tacking and then going along the wall. His 5 has just been as good this weekend as we have ever seen it. When you combine the great 5, the great shooting 2, and of course he's been shooting well on the 3 as well. When you put those together, you're going to get an outstanding product, and that's been the case so far. Tony able to dig this one out with a left hand, and now Spredeman surges ahead 3-1 here in game number 1 of the second set. This is the battle that most people wanted to see. These two incredible singles players battling head for head for the Tornado World Championship, and Spredeman steals it and calls timeout.
Ready?
Tony Spredeman will put it back into play. He leads 3-1 here in the first game of the second set. Jim Stevens and the Inside Foods crew bring it to you live here at Kazoom.com. Of course, those of you watching after the fact on DVD or on download, and if you are interested in getting those, and again, Ryan Moore squaring off the pull shot here. Tony's going to have to make an adjustment. He just can't continue to give up that many from Ryan Moore's two-rod. Of course, Ryan Moore's two-rod is extraordinary and has been spectacular here this weekend. Tony will look to regain the 2-goal lead here, and he does as he strokes it home to that far side.
Yeah.
Remember, you can go to InsideFoods.com and get your DVDs or downloads of the 2014 Tornado Worlds, including one of the great matches of all time, that open doubles semifinal, and of course this match and the others. And Ryan just plain missed that. Then Tony sends it up the table with his left hand, catching it on the 3-rod, and a chance to put away game number 1 of this second set here. Ryan Moore able to block it the first time. The rebound spins back to Spredeman. Another attempt to the near side. And Ryan is there again. Ryan has really been the complete package all weekend long, both in singles and doubles.
Ready? Yeah.
Tony Spredeman starting to heat up and get back into this match, however. And one sent towards the goal by Tony. Let's see what kind of adjustments he makes here against Ryan on the 2. Ryan tries the slingshot almost back at his own goal. And Tony steals it. Spredeman once again looking to close out game number 1. Spredeman strokes it home to the far side, so Spredeman responds after that opening set loss. He wins game number 1 of the second set, and he leads 1-0. Second game, second set underway. Ryan Moore putting it into play. He won the first set. Tony fought back to win the opening game of the second set. I'm sure the crowd watching here, those of you watching at home, and one particular announcer would love to see this go all the way down to the wire. Well, we love drama, don't we? Ryan looking to strike first here in game number 2, and he does as he strokes it home to that far side.
Yeah.
Ryan Moore on the right. Tony Spredeman on the left. The quick shot attempt here, and Ryan gave that up early. He's not going to give it up here. Sends that one up the table. Tony jumps back there to retrieve it. And he'll begin to work it up the table. Tony passing 2 to the 5. 5 to the 3. Now looking to go from his 3-rod to the back of the goal. And even this second game up at a goal apiece. Spredeman tried to come near side. Ryan kept it out.
Right.
That one hopped up and hit the score rack, so it'll be put back into play now by Ryan Moore. His shot attempt. Tony grabs it with the left hand. Chipping it up. Spredeman along the outside wall. Again, that same quick shot, and that's twice now that it has not worked. Those are valuable possessions. And Ryan makes him pay. At some point, Tony's going to have to make the adjustment against the 2-rod. I believe that's 5 for Ryan from goal. But he has been averaging 6 or 7 or 8, somewhere in that range per match, including a spectacular performance against Robert Atha, where he might have scored as many as 12 or 13.
Third guy.
Tony able to rattle this one in. It's now 2-1. Spredeman leading 1-0 here in this second set. Pass attempt sent up the table with the left hand by Spredeman and then retrieved by Ryan. Moore shot down the middle. Tony's 5-rod gets in the way. Fortunate to get that one through. Now stepping into the forward position, looking to advance it to either 5-3. Tony with a block. Quite a contrast in goalie styles, aren't there? Isn't there? It's the big-time shooter on the right. It's the great passer on the left. And Tony's going to take his time on this one as he passes it through, sets it up, looking to even it up here in Game 2. And he does.
Yep.
2-2 here in Game 2, set 2. Tony waiting on the wall for that tic-tac wall pass by Moore. And down the middle comes Tony with that pass, and he'll set it up looking for the lead. Spredeman back to the far side. It's 3-2, 2 in a row from Tony Spredeman. He has surged ahead here in this second game. Looking to extend the match to a third and final set if he can. And Ryan will call timeout. Ryan Moore will put it back into play, trailing 3-2, down a game here in this second set. Remember, it is 2 out of 3, 2 out of 3s. Ryan to tie it. Ryan walking and then trying to go down the middle. Left-handed shot attempt down the middle. And Ryan able to take it away. And Tony takes it right back. And calls timeout.
Ready? Here we go.
Tony Spredeman will put the ball back into play. Tony looking to pass, and he does. Going 5-3. Back along that outer wall. Blocked by Moore. Spredeman tried to go through the lane. Ryan looking for it. And he'll get another chance to advance it here. And he does with a beautiful bounce pass. Spredeman tried to come down the middle. Ryan Moore there waiting for him to take it away. Ryan tried to launch that one down the middle, and a great save by a hustling Spredeman. Tony working it up the table. Boy, the quick decision-making is extraordinary with these two. That's really the key to successful table soccer. It's the ability to think on the fly, make those good quick decisions, adjustments. Spredeman. Strokes it home to the near side. It's set point for Tony Spredeman as he attempts to take it down to one final 2 out of 3. Tic-tac wall pass. Ryan Moore can pull back within 1. he does. As he fakes far side, comes back down the middle.
Ready? Yeah.
Spredeman has a set point. That one's sent towards the goal. And it's Tony able to pick up the rebound. He's got a chance to send it to a third and final set. As he sets up the snake shot. Try to go back to that far side. The rebound hops around and ends up in possession of Ryan Moore. Ryan tried to go to that short angle, then tried to grab it on the 5. Not sure what Tony was doing there. And Ryan gets it through, can't hold on to it. Spredeman digs it out and moves into the forward position. To the lane goes Tony. Another chance to send it to set number 3 for Tony Spredeman, who sets it up and hammers it home far side. It's one set apiece. Well, we wouldn't have it any other way with these two great players as they battle for the Tornado World Open Singles Championship. It's going to be Ryan Moore on the right. Once again, Tony Spredeman on the left. And here we go. One final best 2 games out of 3 set to see who will be the 2014 Tornado World Singles Champion. And Ryan Moore will have the first scoring opportunity as he sets it up, walks it around, and strokes it home near side. It's 1-0.
Ready? Yes.
Spredeman coming right back. And Ryan able to make the block and a nice grab on the rebound by Ryan Moore. Moore pumps that one down the middle. It hops in the air, spins back to the 5-rod. And that pass attempt blocked, but Ryan gets the left hand back there so quickly to keep it in his goal area. Ryan has not scored in a while, but now he does as that one hits off a man, off the outside wall or inside wall for Ryan. And in. It's 2-0.
Ready? Yeah.
Spredeman tic-tacking and passing down the middle. Tony. Try to go back to the far side. Nice block on the initial effort. Then ball hopped in the air, and Ryan was there with his goalie man to keep it out as well. Spredeman can't grab the rebound on his 3-rod. Ryan does pick it up on his passing rod and looks to advance it. And he does, down the middle. So Ryan Moore coming out in this opening game of the 3rd set. He's gotten the first 2. And now a 3rd one as well. It's 3-0.
Ready? Yeah.
See if Tony can respond. That pass attempt kept out by Ryan. Boy, is he playing sharp foosball. Spredeman able to pick this one up on the 5. Ryan Moore really doesn't get enough credit, I don't think, for being an outstanding defensive player. And it really shows in singles. Now, of course, there are times when the effort isn't there defensively, and for good reason, I think, as he knows he can outscore people, but also in this potentially 9-game format, you got to kind of reserve. And we had a time call right before Tony released the shot.
Ready? Yeah.
Time called by timer Arthur Mitchell. The ball awarded to Ryan Moore in the goal area. So Tony had cut the lead to 3-1 and really took his time nicely, released right at 15 seconds, but it was taken away, and now he's got a chance to once again get back in this first game, and he strokes that one down the middle. It's 3-1 officially now. Right along that near wall. You look at the numbers, you look at the stats on this match, specifically with Ryan Moore and his ability to score from goal, his shooting percentage, his passing percentage. All of them are going to be well above average. It has been a textbook performance so far from Ryan Moore. He's up 4-1 here in game one. Third set, Tony cuts the lead to 2 at 3-2, or rather 4-2.
Ready? Ready.
Ryan Moore will put it back into play, leading 4-2 here in the first game of the third set. Tony with a block on that pass attempt. Ryan with that high lane, he can't hold on to it. It comes back to Tony in the goal area. Spredeman will attempt to work it up the table. Fortunate to get this one through, and then banked it off that outside wall, and then picks up the rebound. Tony getting creative. Let's see if it leads to a goal here as he attempts to cut the lead to 1. Ryan with a block on the initial effort. It comes back to Spredeman, who resets. Again, back to that far corner, and again, Ryan Moore is there. And Moore to that short corner, gets another one from goal. He's now just a game away from the Tornado World Singles title.
Ready?
I believe that's 6 that Ryan has scored from goal during the course of this match. Might be 7. Spredeman will have the first scoring opportunity of game number 2, and this is a big shot for Tony, and he finds the back of the goal. It's 1-0.
Ready? Yeah.
Ryan's pass attempt sit back toward Tony hustling defensively. Ryan now in possession, and Tony, almost gives up that short corner again. Of course, as it was proved in the match against Rob Atha last night in the quarterfinals, even though Rob was back there defending. 1-0 lead here in the second game. Third set, the final set. Tony, 2-rod to 5. 5-3. Looks at the pull kick. Ryan was there. He'll set up the snake. Tried to come down the middle. Ryan with the takeaway. When Ryan shoots the short side angle, that short pull shot, he gives a little bit of a hitch that I think gets Tony or gets any defender off that hole. And the big pull shot here by Moore. Continuing his unbelievable 2-rod exhibition here this weekend. Spredeman along the outside wall. We are tied at 1 here in game number 2. Spredeman jokes it back down the middle. It's 2-1.
Ready? Yeah.
Things really starting to tighten up here. Crowd starting to lean forward in their seats. Ryan can tie it at 2. He walks it. Tried to go back to the far side, and Spredeman with a block up in the air and off the table. Tony will put it back into play. He leads 2-1. Second game, third set as he tries to extend the match. If Ryan Moore wins this game, he's the champ. Tony can't hold on to the pass. Look at that beautiful ball handling, but Spredeman with the block. Here's Moore again. Able to get this one through. And the quick wall pass. Ryan can tie it. And it's 2-2. 2-2 here in the second game, in a game that Tony Spredeman must have to stay alive and send it down to one final game, which makes this a big shot. Spredeman jokes it home to that far side. It's 3-2. What a match this has really turned into. These two players play at such a high level. Moore to tie it. Ryan strokes it home far side. It's 3-3.
Ready?
Spredeman putting it into play. Tied up at 3. And stolen away by Moore. Ryan with a chance to move within 1 of the title as he sets it up. Walks it around. Spredeman defending. Moore stroking it home. It's championship point for Ryan Moore, who has just been extraordinary here this weekend. He has been the best player here, and he's about to prove it. Unless Tony dig himself out of this little hole and banks that one off the wall. Ryan Moore able to grab it on his 5, and most of the time that means it's going to be on his 3 shortly thereafter. But Spredeman gets a piece of it. Tony will start to work it up the table if he can. But knocked back in, and there it is. Ryan Moore defeats Tony Spredeman in 3 sets to win the 2014 Tornado World Singles title.